favorite talk show, the Tony and Tim show, is back with more of the football that happened on the weekend. I'm Tony.
And I'm Tim.
Welcome back from that very, very active weekend, Tim, where we had a super Sunday. By any means in the Premier League. Big games were being played there, but the biggest of them all, Manchester United, Chelsea. That game ending in a 1-1 draw. Yeah,
it ended in a 1-1 draw, Tony. And when I look at the overall game, I thought that is the result. Each team deserved a point from that game. But overall, you look at Man United, it's now almost out of their hands to make it to the top four. Chelsea firmly now taking the grip because it now lies in their hands to either finish the job or bottle it up. So I thought it was a good game at the end of the day.
Match day 36, of course, served us with very, very interesting talking points, especially in the Manchester United-Chelsea game, team. But when you look elsewhere at the other teams that are fighting for top four, none of these teams is interested, Tim.
Tom, that's the surprise. And people are joking around about these four teams. Tottenham lost. We thought the other teams can capitalize. Arsenal lost too. And then these two boys, instead of one winning, they drew. It's just like no one wants to be in the top four. But at the end of the day, there will be two teams in those positions.
Very, very interesting game. Manchester United taking on Chelsea. That early goal from Manchester United coming from Juan Mata. Very, very beautiful ball from Lukaku, I think. He had a very, very beautiful pass there. And of course, the equalizer coming at the end of the first half there from Marcos Alonso for Chelsea. In another howler for David De Gea. We talked about the coach sticking with him before the game. Has he done himself any favors?
No, De Gea totally is out of sorts now, howler after howler, Tony. We're talking about 4 games in a row, and that De Gea is mentioned in the breath of a world-class goalkeeper. And if he cannot...
He's still the best, in my opinion.
I still believe so too, Tony, but he's just making mistake after mistake. And the problem with a keeper's mistake, it always ends up into a goal. They're not like strikers or midfielders. So that's why it's out there in the open now. Everyone is criticizing De Gea. And there is no more time. We have less than 2 games to go. And these are not those important games for De Gea maybe to wash out his name. I think the damage is already done.
Very, very interesting there. Manchester United looking at those points as 2 dropped as they find themselves in 6th position currently on 65 points. I believe Manchester United is the team that dropped points in this particular game, being at home. They should have used this game to galvanize that chase for a top 4 position to ensure they get themselves back into the Champions League next season. But of course, Chelsea taking the advantage there. They didn't have a good game, Chelsea. In this particular game, they had a very, very interesting one. They got an injury to Rudiger in the first half, where we saw Christensen coming in. We saw David Luiz also struggling in the game. So it was a very, very tough time for them at Old Trafford. But Manchester United now dropping 2 points. More points dropped for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If you're the board, you've been playing in the Champions League this season. He suddenly had brilliant performances in the Champions League. What are you looking at for him next season?
I think before Ole Gunnar Solskjaer joined Man United, Tony, even as caretaker, the board could have been planning that this season they are going to play in Europa League. It was with 13 points off the top 4. I think they had started planning, but it's still going to bite them because this is where the big clubs make their finances from, such European nights. Now that is out of sort. Yes, they may not have planned for it, but it's going to bite them. But nevertheless, you're asking Ole Gunnar, what team do you want to take going forward? So it's from there they have to determine. I think we shall not be surprised if Lukaku or maybe Pogba or even De Gea gets sold out in the window. Truly, I think one of them should go.
If you look at the teams that played yesterday, if you look at Manchester United that we are talking about, who are the players that Manchester United can afford to lose based on performance?
Lukaku. The first player, Tony, is Lukaku. I still believe Pogba needs some players around him who will help him, and then he blossoms.
Some responsibility.
I would also choose Sanchez, Tony. He's not played, but because he has a big contract with Man United, I don't think he would want to a move out of Old Trafford. And then you can't talk about De Gea, Tony. I still believe he's a good keeper, so it's only Lukaku as a big buy I would let out.
Very, very interesting there. Manchester United continuing that push for top 4 finish, now looking increasingly unlikely after that game with Chelsea having it all to do. Of course, Mauricio Sarri's men grabbing that very, very important point through that howler from David De Gea.
Yep.
I think it was a good shot from Rudiger,
Yep.
but it's something that De Gea should be able to collect on his day there. The game going on with not much to talk about in that particular one, but we had a lot of talking points elsewhere. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break.